My name is Omar and my teammates' names are Sarah Jones and Stephonte Livingston. Our group is focusing on the leadership in global society. Presentation presented by the Kennesaw students. Peter was the main leader in this organization. We looked at different suggestions for Peter to improve his leadership skills and his mindset toward dealing with people that have a different background than his own. As we continue, we will explain the difficulties in different ways to understand how to deal with people with a different mindset and a different thought process than Peter's. After looking at our presentation, the Kennesaw students and the rest of our class members will be able to see alternatives for how Peter can continue to advance his leadership skills in regards to culture and in the world.
Peter should know his own history. Peter should start out by focusing on his own culture, the American society. According to Becoming a Better Leaders, Know Your History. If Peter honors his own history, he will have the foundation for appreciating that of other societies. He will understand that other cultures may not come from the same background. According to Becoming a Better Leader, Peter should answer the following questions. What is the story of how your ancestors came to where you are? What are the characteristics, values, and strengths you inherited from them? How has this shaped your character, life choices, and worldview? Peter should focus on replacing people's tendencies by weaving the history, culture, and values of many people and backgrounds into a new cultural tapestry. Peter should take cultures from all around the world and mesh them together to form one culture. This will help stop the basis of cultural discrimination and the belief that one culture is better or superior to others, because all cultures are great in their own way. Peter should think we, not I. For Peter's accounting firm, he should try to focus on the organization as a whole instead of his own personal gain from the business. By this, he shouldn't focus on himself reaching the top, but rather everyone in the firm reaching the top. To do this, Peter's accounting firm must be we-oriented instead of I-oriented. We cultures are more tightly woven and interdependent, whereas an I culture tends to value independence, competition, self-interest, and personal achievement. Leaders should focus his group to value group welfare, cooperation, and harmony when communicating. So he really should focus on the group and the group's cohesion. Peter should behave politely, act in a socially desirable manner, and show respect to everyone in his organization. However, individuals must also be strong for the collective to thrive. Like the I culture, he will have to balance this in his accounting firm when going global. Peter will face the challenge of balancing both communal good and individual gain and reach the higher ground for interdependence, where personal gain is not achieved at the expense of others. If Peter focuses on collaboration, teamwork, and mutuality, he will notice a higher productivity, commitment, and creativity within his organization. Peter should practice generosity. Peter should show his generosity to his accounting firm by recognizing the contributions of others, sharing one's time and expertise, chipping in when someone has a special need or challenge, and supporting community causes. In summary, Peter must be known as someone who serves the people. Peter should focus on the well-being of his workers by providing good health benefits, such as health care or a dental plan, paying fair wages where there are not huge wage gaps, having open environments where people feel safe to voice their own opinions in the firm, and profit sharing where all people benefit from the positive that the company does, not one person gets the praise. Peter should be a leader among equals. Peter should focus on being a leader who is just like everyone else on the job. This means that he doesn't walk around and make it known that he is the boss. He should work side by side within his firm by working with all his employees no matter what position they hold. He should remain approachable, meaning he should always be open for his employees to talk to about problems they face or questions they may have. So, he should always say, "Thank you for coming to me, I appreciate it," so that they feel it is okay to ask as many questions as possible. He should always treat everyone with respect, regardless of position or status. He should work as hard as everyone else, or even harder. Even though Peter will be the boss, he should always work as hard as he can. He should never put his work off to a lower position employee. He should always remain fair and he should never play favorites. This way, everyone in the firm will feel responsible and accountable for their success, and everyone will be rewarded in an equitable manner.
In this slide, we'll be discussing the leadership by many concept, basically meaning that Peter has to include everyone in his leadership style. All hands will be on deck and no one will feel like a lesser piece at the firm. In being a leader, he will be more effective by pulling the leader out of others. Empowering others is a key in becoming a better leader. People have different opinions and everything should be put on the table before a final decision is made. You never know what people are thinking. One statement could change your whole perspective on your own idea and also broaden your horizon and understand what other people are actually thinking. And this is key because he can gain the trust of his members because they will actually understand that he's actually open to hearing their own opinions and not just being closed-minded and focusing on his own plans. And just because Peter is the leader, that doesn't mean that he has to be the end all be all. Others should still have an equal say in the case. And with this participation, no one feels left out and everyone feels that they actually play an equal part in influencing what actually happens. In this way, he'll gain a better relationship with them because he will understand more about them and what they think and how they actually think. So to conclude this slide, the leadership by many concept will help Peter because it will put all hands on deck and it will make sure everyone has a particular part in making a final decision. No one will feel left out and all cards will be put on the table of how everyone feels about the topic at hand. Making people feel like family will cause them to open up even more to the leader. They will feel like their thoughts are actually respected and taken into consideration. Relationships between leaders and followers play a big part in unlocking the group's full potential. This will also show the followers that Peter is not biased to them regardless of their background or culture. Everyone in the firm is working towards a common goal in bettering themselves and the people around them. People usually want the best for their valued relatives, so if he shows them that he views them like that, then the members will understand that Peter wants them to succeed just as bad as he does himself. And by doing this, the trust factor once again increases between the members and the leader. The members will be able to talk to the leader without feeling like they're being judged for thinking what they are thinking. And this way, they will be able to handle disagreements better because it won't feel like the other members are trying to bring each other down. They will know it's just out of respect for one another and for the betterment of the group. And it will continue to be interesting how the better the relationship between the leader and the follower, the better they get along in actually achieving their goals in the long run. It pretty much goes hand in hand. In Nordhaus's leadership and theory practice, gender egalitarianism is defined as the measure of degree to which an organization or a society minimizes gender role differences and promotes gender equality. Peter needs to take into account people's gender and their background and make decisions that are respectable towards each. Peter cannot come off as biased or prejudiced. Gender egalitarianism has a big influence on how leaders influence others, and the prejudice refers to judgments based on previous decisions or experiences. These leaders have to fight their own and deal with that of others, and that can be tough often. It will actually make it difficult for Peter to understand others and their experiences, but he still does have to learn to broaden his own horizon and understand where other people are coming from. He also shouldn't assign roles to the group based on these genders or races. He should assign them based on what they are actually capable of doing. Keying in on this will help the two genders influence the group positively and equally. One won't feel like one is outdoing the other. This equal influence basically just helps make the relationship between those leaders and those members that much more smoother in the long run. So all in all, if Peter keeps this together, the group's plan toward achieving their common goal will happen more smoothly, and they will be able to overcome the obstacles and hardships easier.
Humane orientation will play a critical role in the success of Peter. The students from Kennesaw State plead with Peter to practically be a humanitarian. In slide 4, the team suggests that Peter be as adaptive as possible, even going as far as learning about other cultures to avoid offending others. In slide 6, the team implores Peter to enhance his communication skills through verbal and nonverbal communications. If Peter is able to grasp the basic language of different regions he worked with, as well as gestures, symbols, and expressions, then his humane orientation will flourish. Finally, the Kennesaw State students recommend that Peter be open-minded. They expect that if Peter can be sensitive to others while also giving everyone respect, then he could be successful as a business leader. If Peter does all that the Kennesaw State students forecast for him to be successful, then it's pretty clear he will be demonstrating fairness, altruism, generosity, and kindness. This, according to Nordhaus, is humane orientation. As Peter traverses through leadership obstacles, the Kennesaw State students will help guide him. Concepts like gender egalitarianism and humane orientation will help along the way. The works cited in this PowerPoint were Becoming a Better Leader, Multicultural and Global Leadership by Joanna Bordes, and Leadership, Theory and Practice by Peter G. Nordhaus. This PowerPoint was completed by Sarah, Omar, and Stephonte.